Hey guys, welcome to our house on Main Street. This is probably about take 100. I can't even explain it to you anymore. Just know that we're not YouTubers. And our last attempt to share our kitchen with you guys, we photographed it all in the portrait mode. It's a terrible video and I feel like we can do better. We would love for you guys to be inspired greatly, to think outside the box, to make something new and interesting. Maybe not everyone else is going to love it, but something that you love. Kind of have a motto is that you're going to make your home and not worry about what everybody else thinks. So what I want to show you right now, and if you've already watched the other video and the minute little screen that it was, because it wouldn't expand, I'm sorry. Hopefully the landscape view will give you a better idea of our kitchen. I struggle with landscape because our ceilings are 11 foot tall and it tends to want to smash everything super squatty, and I don't like how that looks, but here we go. We bought these 2 pair of library cabinets in Round Top, Texas, and they were a very dark brown. We separated them and we mounted the top part on the top of the wall as our uppers. We have an 18-inch backsplash and we used the lowers for our counters. They did not have this marble on the top. We found this at Floor & Decor very inexpensively and had it cut to fit the top. This was a project taking dark, not quite mahogany, probably a walnut stain, and stripping them down and bringing them into this kind of vintage whitewash raw wood look. It had to have some help. It wasn't just straight up bleaching them and lightening them. I had to use a little bit of waxes and stuff to get it all to marry together. I learned a lot in the process of making these cabinets. One of the ones that's kind of obvious is when I was working on them, these door handles, when this is sitting down here, it's right here. I forgot to move them. Don't do that. Make sure you move your handles down if you ever decide to repurpose some library cabinets as your upper cabinets. This has really been a huge project, probably the best project that we've ever done. This is our hood vent, and in our building on Main Street, this whole building was made out of tin. All the walls, all the ceilings, everything was tin. Most of it was removed. We have one wall left downstairs, but we took some of the remnants of the tin and we made this hood vent. So the wood vent top that curves out is made out of the tin from the building from 1906. And all of the side panels are made from the old floor, and a lot of these pieces too are old salvaged boards that we reused to make this hood vent. I was just going to give you a few numbers. This range is 48 inches wide by Big Chill. This is our first time ever to build a 48-inch wide hood vent. If you're going to build it, don't be terrified when you start building it. It looks like it's a house. It is really large. And it was scary hanging it up here. Was it going to take over the kitchen? Cabinets come out about 12 inches from your wall. That's normal. Hood vents can come out anywhere from 18 to 20, 21. I think this one's like maxing out at about 21. What saves us so that it doesn't like protrude into the room too big is that I mount my vents at 36 inches above my range. A lot of people do 30. I find that's a little low and it kind of gets a little claustrophobic. So this one's done up at 36. So it's about 6 feet off the ground because this is right at 36. And this is right at 3 feet higher, which 3 plus 3 is 6. So this is at 36. I love how this has all turned out. It has been so much fun. I struggled at first with the glass here not being opaque. And finally I just gave up, and we're just gonna have to be able to see the faint shadowing of our dishes. And that's something that you may have to get used to at first when you're gonna start repurposing things, is it may not be exactly like you like right at first, and then after a while you kind of live with it a little while and you learn to like it, love it, or you don't even notice it anymore. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is our island. Our house was built in 1906, and the American Industrial Revolution probably started at the end of the 1800s, early 1900s with manufacturing and stuff. And this right here, this is our island. This is a lift that goes up and down. And I can take this right here, and I can roll it, and I can lower my island completely down to table height. I can raise it back up to the 36-inch counter height that it is, and I can even go up higher to probably almost 40 inches high to where it would be bar height. This is the coolest thing we own. My husband loves this. We found the lift in New Orleans. We had a frame built to hold the weight. We had 3 different marble companies refuse to bring marble because they had no idea just how old and strong and powerful this lift was. And finally, a really nice guy that works in our area that was doing our windows said, I can get you a piece of marble, and we got a piece of marble cut. The other companies were terrified it was going to crack. We know it's a risk. We don't play with it a lot. We do raise and lower it, but it's not something I'm going to stand on and definitely not dance on. So, but it's been lovely. It's been fun to work with. This kitchen right here, just to give you some idea, it's about 14 feet wide. I like to know scale. These are 4 foot wide. I think I've already told you the range is 4 foot wide, and this right here is 4 foot high. So this is like a 12-foot bank of cabinets. On this side over here, this is an old mercantile cabinet that we redid. This is my pantry. It really is my pantry. Greg and I are empty nesters. We don't need a lot of food. I'm going to open it, and it's going to probably be messy. I hate that. But it really is my pantry. Look, I have some bread right here. This is kind of the bread and cookie and crackers and baking side. This side over here is canned goods. And you don't want to know what's in this bag. It's crackling. I don't even know if you guys even know what crackling is, but it's a bag of crackling. And then down here I have some other things. These jars have come in super handy. They really are functional. Like, we really do keep our cereal in this jar. We keep spaghetti and rice in it. Greg has a cookie jar, but he ate all the cookies. But this has been a really fun piece. It did not look at all like this when we bought it. This was totally, hey Rizzy, you were thinking you want something? You smell the crackling. It had no doors at the top. And this took a bit of engineering because I had to find the doors, which I did on eBay. And then when Greg brought them in, they were supposed to have the slide doors, kind of like the bottom down here. I don't know if you can see me, Greg. But these slide, the original doors up here would have slid also. They were gone, they were missing when we got it. So Greg had to frame out this, build out this side, and then he had to like add to the doors to get them to fit as double doors. And then because of all of the stuff he had to do to add on to the doors and make everything fit, that's why we chose to do a very distressed crackle finish to kind of hide all of the engineering and things that he had to do. We also added a big tall crown to the top. This piece did not have a pretty crown. It was very, very small and skimpy, and we had an antique piece of crown molding that we added to the top to make her a little bit fancier and give her a little bit more weight at the top. Over here, the reason I needed the dishwasher, the appliances, all to be kind of fitted in. My goal when I first started the kitchen was to have a more unfitted inspired kitchen. And once I started working with and looking into Unfitted, the point of that is to be able to move your pieces around as you need them. Pull your table here, move a table there, maybe move a cabinet. But when you're working with 11-foot ceilings, your pieces need to fit your space. So the pantry is 8 foot tall. It's not going to be drug around the room. These cabinets right here, I needed a working surface, and that's why I elevated them and did not leave them sitting flush with. I needed a working surface to cook on, and so we're really not going to move these around. It has a feel of Unfitted, but not so much technically unfitted. This right here, I just needed my refrigerator, my dishwasher. This is my dishwasher right here, my microwave, my sink, all of the things that make your kitchen run and work right to be kind of grouped together. So we had these cabinets built, and I painted them out to fit the area. My favorite thing, where are we going, is this tile. Oh, you're fixing the microwave? I mean, the dishwasher door? I know I didn't close it. I was just cleaning dishes. One of the things that took a big risk was for me to pick the green tile. The green tile. Hey, girls. Hey, girls. Shh. It's okay. I was so nervous about committing to this green tile, and it's probably one of my most favorite things ever. I researched how to paint it if I didn't like it green. There are products that if you ever put a tile up and you don't like the color, you can buy a product that you can paint on ceramic or porcelain tile, and it is white, but then you can paint it any color on top of that. I actually bought some. I took 3 tiles. I painted it, let it dry, and then I tried to scratch it off and painted it to make sure it would work, and it actually really does work. It is a very interesting product. This has been probably one of the coolest things that we've ever built. This kitchen, I'm just gonna give you some numbers so you kind of have an idea. It's about 14 feet wide, and the whole room goes back about 30 feet from wall to back. And so we were able to fit a dining room at the back side of it. It's been really, really nice to be able to sit a lot of people here. I wanted to change up a little bit. Everything in the kitchen is a little square, you kind of noticed, except that one of my pieces over there is a little bit of a curve, a little bit of a pretty curve where we had to cut the marble. That's why I kind of decided we need to soften things up. We did a round table, and then we added this little piece right here, or this cabinet over here, that is actually, I'm going to come around here, Greg, the top. The antique dealer said it's French. I think it is, but it's the top of I guess like a dining room cabinet, where this piece actually would have been up higher. And then we know that because underneath it, you can see where the little columns would have fit in it to sit on like a thicker piece. And then it would have been the bottom. And we added the gold feet to the bottom to give it some legs and get it up off the ground. But this depth right here has been perfect for this area, and it has a lot of storage. I always like to do things a little crazy. We added this brick to this wall. These walls are really cinder block, not cute cinder block. Just really, really not cute cinder block. So these are the thin brick, and we put them up in a pattern, and we tried to choose a color with our mortar and stuff that makes it look old, kind of like New Orleans-y looking. And when you do all of this work, you don't want to hide it. So I didn't want to cover up this with like a solid cabinet, but I wanted some shelves. So I needed shelves that were tall. I don't know if you've ever tried to find shelves that you can mount to the wall that are tall with the open back. They're really, really hard to find. Most of them are 3 foot tall. You might be able to find them 4 foot, but most of the time they're like 36 inches. We made this shelf and hung it from the ceiling out of lamp parts. I found a lamp part store that sells really cool threaded brass rods. They're real brass. They sell these cute little things right here, these little nipple things. They go in and out of here, and then these are gold flanges, or not gold, brass. And I just love all of that. And then we mounted it to the ceiling. We have a video of us thinking that, well, not us. I thought it was going to take like 30 minutes to hang. It took like 6 hours. It was a big learning curve. I hope that this inspires you guys to get out and think about ways that you like things. If you want to do a mid-century modern kitchen, go find you some pieces. Turn it into kitchen cabinets. If you want to do farmhouse, if you want to do maybe even a traditional, whatever you love, whatever you like. A few things to remember is that your base cabinet should be about 24 inches deep. That's how it'll fit in right with your appliances, dishwashers, sinks, and things like that. So you need a deep cabinet base to do your bases. Your upper cabinets need to be anywhere from probably 12 to 13 inches deep, and the spacing in between is usually about 18. The walk space that you're going to need to be able to have between your island and your cabinets is about 3 to 4 feet, and you'll be able to do just fine. I would love to answer any questions that you guys have about anything that we've done. It has been an adventure. It has been amazing, and I just want to wish you guys the best of luck. I hope that this video, I'm not a YouTuber, I have no desire to be a YouTuber. I just really love old things. I like repurposing old things. I like taking things and thinking outside the box. If you like to do those things, send me a message. Maybe we can have a conversation. You guys have a blessed day, and thanks so much for listening and seeing what we're doing at Main Street.